Hello, this is Shambhavi. Welcome to Satsang. Satsang is an ancient spiritual practice from India. It means being in reality together. I give Satsang live every Wednesday and Sunday night in Portland, Maine. This Dharma talk was recorded during one of our Wednesday night gatherings. Please visit jayakula.org to learn more about the teachings. You can find video satsangs on Jayakula's YouTube channel, and my books are all available on Amazon.com. Much love to you, wherever and however you are. Ganesha and Saraswati are what are called Mahadevas. It means great gods. And then, of course, there's Guru, and Guru means the force that removes darkness, that removes ignorance. It also means heavy. Actually, literally in Sanskrit, the word Guru means heavy, because there's a kind of heaviness. The Guru has to come down and sit on you to make you give up your karmas, basically. Kick you and sit on you. Push you around a bit. Twisting, yeah. But the Mahadevas are embodiments of the great wisdom virtues that I'm always harping on about. Those wisdom virtues of which reality is made, like compassion and skill and curiosity and kindness and those kinds of things, intelligence, clarity. And each of the Mahadevas is like a slice of the cosmic wisdom virtue pie. Of course, just like there are greatly realized human beings and human beings who are greatly in ignorance, there are also devas who are greatly and only beneficent, and other devas who are a little troublesome sometimes. That's not widely known in the U.S. We think all gods are gods. I mean, they're gods. They can't have issues. But in the Indian pantheon, there's all different classes of deities, just like other beings. They are differently embodied than we are. And some of them are not totally enlightened. And the other thing about devas in the Indian tradition is that they aren't necessarily immortal. For instance, Krishna, in the Bhagavad Gita, there's references to him being born and to dying. So these subtle bodies of the devas, they're just beings who have more subtle bodies than we do. They come and go. They're not permanent in the Indian tradition. When we talk about Lord Shiva, we're not really talking about a deity. We're talking about all of reality, even though there is a form of that. For people who worship other Mahadevas as their main form of worship, like people who worship Lord Ganesha or Krishna, that deity becomes all of reality for them. So, in a sense, the Mahadevas are direct emanations, and they do represent all of reality on some level. Although we can identify specific characteristics that we can relate to through the Mahadevas. So the purpose of relating to them is to discover those wisdom virtues in ourselves. The same with the relating to the gurus. The purpose of relating to a guru is to discover wisdom virtues within you, not to just remain at the feet of somebody thinking that you're lesser than. That is not the point. So Lord Ganesha is the elephant-headed, human-bodied god, and he spans all of the different worlds. He transitions between the Deva lokas and the human realms, and also the animal realms. And the reason why that we sing to him or do his mantras at the beginning of any enterprise is because he is the Lord of the threshold. So he is the force that creates the experience of transition from one state to another state. And of course, we need to do that when we're waking up. We need to transition from one form of awareness to another. In a mini way, when we come into satsang, we're transitioning from a more ordinary frame of reference to something that's a little more expansive, supposedly. Some of you may already be enlightened, and you're just showing up for fun. In which case there's no threshold. But for the rest of us, there's always a threshold. There's always some sense of passing between one condition and another. And so Lord Ganesha is the Lord of that force, that process, that wisdom of the experience of a transition, the experience of a path. And so he is sung to at the beginning of every enterprise, whether it's a teaching or a ritual or something like that. He's also called the Lord of Obstacles, and in the U.S., of course, because we only want to be happy, we say that he's the remover of obstacles. That's sort of the cartoon version of who Lord Ganesha is. But he's actually the Lord of all obstacles, not just the remover of obstacles, but also the bringer of obstacles. He's aha! Because if Lord Ganesha brings you an obstacle and you meet it with skill, then you come to a state of greater wisdom. So whether bringing an obstacle is also a way of removing an obstacle, right? We have to have obstacles in order to find out where our limitations are. If we don't ever bump up against anything and we're just always in our comfort zone, then we can't grow. Yeah, I love it here in the theater with this popcorn. It's great. I don't have any problem. I'm totally enlightened. Lord Ganesha probably has more forms than any other Hindu deity. And every deity has many, many different forms. And the different forms of the deities express the different wisdom virtues that they embody and that we can learn to see in ourselves through working with them. This is what I'm giving you as the tantric version of deity practice. So in other forms of deity practice, there's more of a sense that you're worshiping the god. In Tantra, we are performing worship, but we're doing it with the recognition that those same wisdom virtues are part of our embodiment also. And the god is also almost like a writ large externalization of those wisdom virtues. Writ so large that even us dummies can see it. Like we got this giant Ganesha. Okay, well maybe I'm starting to get it. So in tantric deity practice, we actually bring the deity out of us and we externalize it on the altar in some form, and then we offer substances to the deity of different kinds. All the while recognizing those wisdom virtues and experiencing them as best we can within ourselves. Saraswati is the deity that is the embodiment of the arts, of beauty, of music, and also of what's called rasa, the sweet essence taste of all existence. She is embodied as a young woman, about 15 years of age, with beautiful moonlight white skin and dark long hair. She's playing a musical instrument a little bit like this. It's called a veena. It's a slightly different shape, but the same basic idea. And she's just glowing with this nectarine, luscious quality of moonlight. Sometimes she's pictured with the nectar of immortality, Amrita, like dripping down her skin. She is that ultimate essence of nourishment. And of course, for Lord Shiva, the ultimate nourishment is aesthetic. Right? The ultimate quality of this world is an aesthetic quality. That's what Lord Shiva is eating. Lord Shiva is eating art, basically. No. Yeah. That all of our sensory experiences are like the colors on the palette that are making up the artistic creations of Lord Shiva, or it's often compared to a drama, a play on a stage. So Lord Shiva is enjoying everything, or God is enjoying everything, or the Supreme Self is enjoying everything as this incredible panoply of creation. Ma Saraswati represents that enjoyment of the aesthetic quality of life. She also represents the getting of wisdom, and she's propitiated, or her hymns are sung at the beginning of every school semester by school children all over India to remind them of the importance of learning and also the sweetness of learning. Right? Saraswati's vehicle is a swan. So the swan is the symbol of what's called viveka, or discrimination. When you are making a work of art, if you just threw all your colors together into a big pile in an indiscriminate way, you would end up with mud. So in order to make all of this, just look at the way that this room and everyone in it and everything in it is just popping with detail and vitality and vibrancy. It takes a lot of discrimination to make this. It takes a lot of clear seeing. It takes a lot of skill, a lot of intelligence and wisdom. So that viveka that is represented by the swan is about the quality of perception that one must have in order to be Lord Shiva, in order to be the creator, and to create these wonderful, luscious, sweet-tasting worlds. So then, after we sing to Lord Ganesha and recognize that we are being carried across a threshold and being given an opportunity to expand our experience, let our senses relax, let our mind relax, let our body relax, let our energy relax, let more things come to us, have our senses open up so we can perceive things more, experience things more. Then we celebrate Ma Saraswati and all of the wonderful aspects of creation and their sweet taste. And then finally we sing a hymn to Guru. And what we sing is part of a much longer prayer called the Guru Stotram. It celebrates all of the different qualities of Guru, that hymn. And one of my favorite lines in it is that the Guru put drops in my eyes and removed my ignorance like cataracts. Yeah, it's really beautiful. But the particular verse that we sing is saying that the Guru is God, the Guru is Brahma, the Guru is Vishnu. The Guru is all gods, all in one, that the Guru is that enlightenment itself. And that's how we should relate to Guru. We should find that experience of enlightenment in Guru and relate ourselves to that, and that alone will help us to wake up. Ma was very clear about this. She said, you must relate to the Guru as God. What does that mean? Does that mean that you have to be constantly throwing yourself at this person's feet? No. It means that you're always trying to orient yourself to whatever possible experience of awakened state that you can have in your dealings with that person. That's what you're doing. If you spend time trying to make the teacher more ordinary so that you're less threatened by the teacher, or if you spend time criticizing the teacher, you're wasting your time. Right? At least if you're not doing it and then bringing that onto the path, you're wasting your time. We really should be relating ourselves to that living presence all the time, in any way that we can experience it. And someone who is a real Guru for us is going to be one of those people, or maybe the only person we meet in a particular lifetime, who can actually show us that. And then we take that and we work with it. We take that experience that we have with the teacher or through the teacher, and we work with it because we recognize it's us. So this is what Ma taught. She said you must always try to experience the God in the teacher. It's a little easier for us to relate to a human being. I could sit somebody down and say, okay, relate, enlightened mind, it's right here. Go for it. Here, I'll sit you in an empty room. Enlightened mind. Got it? And they'll be like, whoa, I'm bored, I'm nervous, let me out of here. But if we can relate to that same thing that's everywhere through a human being, it's easier for us. And so Guru is that technology that nature has devised, our own enlightened self has devised for us to help us until we can just be in an empty room and see God. Until then. So in this tradition, in all the direct realization traditions, Kashmir Shaivism, Dzogchen, Chan Buddhism, whatever other ones there are anywhere, the main form of practice is called Guru Yoga, where you're relating to that through the medium of a teacher. And that relationship with the teacher is considered to be more important than any of the other stuff that you do, or more important than your relationships with deities. I mean, we relate to deities, but the relationship to the teacher is considered to be the primary vehicle for you to wake up. The relationship that really reflects to you most palpably your own enlightened essence nature. So that's why we sing to Guru. Last, it's like the Academy Awards. The Guru comes last. 'Cause you save the biggest one for last. On our altars also, when we make altars, the teacher goes here and the deities go here. It's that same recognition that we're learning how to be human, and only a human can really teach us how to be human. We're not trying to be gods. We're learning from gods. We get a lot, we learn about those wisdom virtues from gods. But we're, at this point, because we showed up as human, trying to do human. And that's what the human teacher is for. So that's why the human teacher takes pride of place on the altar and in the order of the singing that we do. Jayakula is a nonprofit community offering opportunities to learn and practice in the direct realization traditions of Trika Shaivism and Dzogchen. We are based in Portland, Maine and Portland, Oregon. Visit jayakula.org to explore more of our offerings.